Welcome. In tonight's episode of Core Living, we are going to tackle inspiration. Do you feel inspired? What inspires you? When's the last time you were inspired? Now, don't get it mixed up with motivation, although I think there definitely is a tie between motivation and inspiration, and they kind of work off of each other. But we can get motivated to do tons of things. It doesn't have to be positive. It could be a negative thing. Just getting up to do something like take the garbage out because we know we're going to get yelled at if we don't take the garbage out. But no, I think inspiration, there's something deeper there. There's this next level type of a thing. It's like the pinnacle of our creative output. It's the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. Now that sounds very mechanical. That's your textbook dictionary right there. And I think if you read it somewhere, you might just skip right over it without seeing the real juicy thing that is being said there. I think there's actually something magical being said there, and I'm hoping that in tonight's episode you might learn something about inspiration that you never thought of before. Now, I have my own personal definition for inspiration. It's a lot quirkier, simpler, but I see it as a poking or a prodding from the universe or reality, whatever you want to call it, but to take an active role in self-expression. It's that mental stimulation that we're talking about, that feeling you get. But it's just not a regular feeling. This feeling is like, I have to get up. I got to do something. True inspiration, I think, will actually do something. It might not be real inspiration if it's just some fantasy or dream that fades away and doesn't really become anything. Now, if there is some higher force out there, like higher consciousness, or, the spiritual aspect of reality, God, or even if you want to keep it just damn simple, there's something about this inspiration that is baked right into our DNA because we all get it. A lot of when we're children, we get this inspiration. We want to do this when we're older, and I want to do that, and we have all these dreams. And then life comes along, and all the hardships and all the things we have to do about life, and then all that inspiration seems to get quelled and cooled. And, for a lot of us, I know definitely did for me growing up, and some of us, who have talents that are easy to make money off of or something like that, that can be exploited, those will be grabbed if there's money to be had. And not every inspirational idea tons of money can be made off of. And so a lot of those ones, they get left behind somewhere. There can only be a certain amount of movie stars and music stars and painters. And so a lot of people get left behind, and they end up putting all those things on the back burner. And then they'll go get a job, and they'll, that they don't want to do. And they'll ride that out until they die. And it's sad that a lot of people lose their fire. Sometimes I lose my fire. I've lost my fire many times. But I want to go back to this connection thing that I'm talking about. this magic. Because do you see how amazing it is that there's this fire here inside of you that if you put your intuition on it right away, if you try to feel it right now, really connect with that feeling, you'll remember what was there. You'll remember, and it might not even be a past thing. It might be something that you want to do right now, but you just keep on saying, "No, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow," and it never really turns into anything. But there's something there. I think we all have something like that that burns within us that we want to do. And the more I feel that we try to like push that off to the side and not tap into it, to not let it flourish within us, I think it kills us a little bit. I think it leads to a lot of the substance abuse problems that we see, a lot of the anxiety, the depression, the grinders out there. And I know what it's like to grind. And it can be tough. You gotta somehow tap into those inspirational ideas that come within yourself to try and unleash it. For me, this is one of my outlets right here. This is what I'm doing here. I get inspired to do this. You gotta find what you can do. Now, this isn't a money-making venture for me. Trust me, I'm not making boatloads of cash doing this, but I enjoy it. And I hope that you see that every week in the shows, because I do a lot of prep work for this. But don't you notice that the icons of inspiration out there? Think about all the people in your life, the ambitious people, the ones that go for all the dreams. I'm not saying that they're definitely necessarily happier, but they definitely are chasing down their dreams. They're trying to do something. And I think a lot of the times you do see a lot of positivity come out of that. And then there's the other side of it too. The ones who are not letting their inspiration flow through them tend to be more, down or separated. And it's contagious. Both sides are contagious. It seems like there's just a whole lot more of us who can get pulled down, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be someone who pulls down. I want to be inspiring myself. I think we all can be on some level. I don't know how long it's going to take for humanity to unite as this force and to respect all the aspects of inspiration, the creative things that come out of us, to show appreciation, and simply not just because it doesn't provide some instant monetary value, just appreciating the passion and the heart and the soul that comes out of someone, I think is important. So I would say take a look at the emotions that you see in the inspired and the uninspired. That might give you a good sense of the importance of being in tune with your inspiration. What type of energy do you get from either side? Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But I think I definitely see something there. Now, what gets you inspired? What do you do to fire yourself up? Because I do believe there are things that we can do to inspire ourselves. I know for a ton of people it's so super cliche, but to be out simply in nature, it's not really my thing. I'm not a huge nature buff, probably because I work outside all the time. I find a lot of my inspiration comes from sitting and doing nothing, usually in meditation. if I do a long sit or something like that, something will just come to my mind. That's actually how this show started. And I was just meditating and just like, boom. It was just to do this. I was like, holy. And then a lot of your art, I find for me when I just calm down, if I pull myself away from all the things that are grabbing my attention, and I'm sure this would be definitely something very common for most of us, all the distractive forces that are out there in terms of social media and television and work and all the things we do to distract ourselves. If you can pull yourself away from that just for a second, just to sit quiet and listen, you might be shocked at what comes to your mind, what might inspire you, although you can also be inspired by other creative projects too. So, watching an amazing movie or the movie that fits or speaks to you might be something that sets you off, that lights a spark in you. Or a song through music. How much inspiration has music brought into people over the years, right? I'm sure there's tons of other ones out there. They're not all coming to my mind right now, but there's definitely something to be had there. I think we tap into ourselves, into who we truly are inside of our inspiration, because it's unique to everyone. Everyone's got like their own unique inspirational voice within themselves, calling out, say, this is what I want you to do. This is what you need to be doing. Are you going to show the world whatever that ask is of reality from you? I think a lot of people get scared. They're afraid of showing the world who they really are, so they don't do anything. We talked a lot about that in my episode on following your dreams, which was a good episode. That would probably go good beside watching this one. But yeah, there's definitely, I think, a fear of, showing the world truly who you are and putting yourself out there. Although you might not necessarily have to put yourself out there. It could be something super selfless, and it could be something inside of charity work. You just like to do charity all the time. It doesn't have to be something that gets all the eyes of everyone on you. And I think there's something probably pretty noble or good to say about that. I think we can all be in. I think we gravitate towards the glitz and the glamour types of things. But I don't really think it matters in the end. I think you got to stay true to what you really want and watch it evolve. And just because you get inspired in one thing doesn't mean it's going to change. It's always going to stay the same. And I think you can get inspiration on a daily basis if you really tap in, if you keep your eyes and your ears open to see and hear what reality has to say, the more you engage with it. But I just found it deeply fascinating. I thought it was so cool to think that like the whole system, the whole construct is actually set up. It's like reality wants to see what you got, and how much are you going to give reality. It seems like there's this ping pong effect. Because reality, everything we see is really, truly inspirational if you look at it. We're living inside of a magic show that we totally take for granted. And so, just like everything that we absorb is tapping into our inspiration, and then we have the outflow that goes right back at it. So, maybe that goes back to that whole, like, we are a reflection of reality and vice versa and all that stuff, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. If you like tonight's episode, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with a friend if you find it interesting. And I hope you guys all take care. And until next week, stay spiritual.